But if you do use the slider on Final Cut Camera app and you use like focus peaking, you can see that the focus is actually able to get closer. So the hardware is there. What frustrates me is that the camera app itself, and I think we talked about this before, Apple sort of tries to guess what you're trying to do and make it too easy sometimes for users. My view is, and maybe for you, I'll open the floor for you guys to talk about this, but my view is, if it's a pro phone, let us freaking pretend that we're pros even, and control every setting that we want. On the regular iPhone, I don't care, but on the pro phone, we should have those settings more open.
Welcome back to minus 16. We are back together again. There's a song about that, but I've been going through my song history with Daniel just before we started, so I'm not going to get into my McFadden and Whitehead back catalogue. Anyway, we are joined this week, if you're watching us on video, with Matt from Matt Talks Tech. Matt, how are you?
I'm good. Glad to be here. Thanks for the invite.
We've been looking forward to it. Always good to get guests on because it gives us a whole different perspective of things. So, boys, How have you been? What have you been up to?
Oh,
iPhone
I've been busy.
land.
Yeah, iPhone land, but also just being there was a big, massive football tournament here on last 2 weeks, and I was part of the social media team for that. I volunteered to be part of it because it was my club that ran it, and yeah, it was.
I saw you interviewed a goalie, right?
Mark Bosnich.
Yeah, amazing.
Played for Man United, Aston Villa, Chelsea. His son was playing, and apparently he kicked off at referees at an 8-year-old's football matches. So anyway, good to chat to him.
Spicy stuff.
Sounds like.
So subjects we're going to be covering through the course of this podcast is the new update to One UI, the 8.5 update that's coming, that I know Daniel's made a video about, my experiences with Apple support and my thoughts about it. Linus has posted a really interesting video about unstable views and the way that Rev is... anyway, we'll get into that a little bit later on. There's stuff to talk about, swelling Samsung rings. I say that without any glee on my face at all.
Exploding rings. Let's make it spicy.
There's a clickbait title. Has your ring exploded? Yeah. And
No. Yeah.
That's a thumbnail I'll leave you to make. And I think we're going to start off actually with Alex. And you've been talking about it's the new Samsung poster. And Alex, you've come across some issues with the iPhone and its zoom, I think, isn't it, on video?
Oh, we were going so well with the introduction, but yeah, okay, I'll ruin it for everybody. It's always difficult, right, to kind of point issues as such an expensive device, because I'm always conscious of not just the fact that a lot of people waited sometimes years to get one, but also the product people. Like I can't even imagine how hard it must be to put out a product of that sort of level. But honestly, when you get using it as a reviewer, I think is part of our jobs, right, to share our experiences, good or bad. I've got amazing experiences with the iPhone, but also there are two main issues on the lens that I was most looking forward to, which is the telephoto lens. And for me, and I've been saying this for a long time, I think that since the S23 Ultra, I actually thought I can use the telephoto lens for regular photos and also video. For photos, I just like to stand back a little bit more and use that lens just because of the separation it gives you. It's kind of, I just love that look personally. And for video, I like to use the something called parallax effect. So when you get the foreground, the subject is tracked and the background's sort of moving in different directions. I'll see if I can find a B-roll of this, but my Xperia review, Xperia 6, I think it was, the intro for that review was exactly that. The phone on a gimbal, and I'm tracking a statue. I think there was a Big Ben or something in the background and moving very smoothly, very stable. If I try to do that with the iPhone, it will work probably 8 times out of 10. But depending on the movement and in my experience, depending on how close you are to the subject, it will struggle to two things. Focus, one of them, which is the main thing.
Kind of important.
And the other one is stability. And for iPhone users, you might never come across this, or you might actually on the stabilization issue, you might not notice it because you're not a tech reviewer. You're just looking at what comes out of the iPhone. But when you are doing these reviews and you put side by side with other devices, i.e. the S25 Ultra, it's so apparent how much more or how much less stable the iPhone is in this situation with, particularly with the 4X lens. And obviously, when you do a little bit of research, Apple claims that the 8X, I think they say optical quality zoom, which they all say stuff like that. I think Samsung also say the 10X is optical quality. It's not really an optical lens, right? It's just a crop of the 48 megapixel telephoto, which is fine. And there's I don't know if Apple does any computational to enhance that 8X to make it even look more like a different shot.
There's some shot, yeah.
And Samsung do that for sure. But I think in video, 8X, to be honest, is asking too much, right? Why would you do a moving shot of a telephoto? Usually you want to put it on a tripod and do that, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to that extreme. But 4X or 5X in Samsung world is actually a common thing that I do all the time. I love doing that parallax effect. So I just found that it doesn't focus well and is really, really wobbly. And I just yesterday, as I was editing the video, I noticed that there was the update, right? That the iPhone recently updated itself to 26.01, iOS 26.01. So I've tested that again, and the problem's still there. And I noticed they did fix a artifact issue on the camera with photos in that update, which I hadn't noticed. But I thought, sometimes, people will say in the release notes, they'll say, "Oh, we fixed these issues," but they never mention everything else that they fixed. So I was hoping that this issue that I'm seeing would be fixed. But it's a weird one because if I try to show people, and I go, right, look at this, and it will invariably just work. The other scenario is if I use like a Final Cut camera app or Blackmagic Design app, I can manually adjust the focus. And even, Apple doesn't officially say how close you can get to stuff, right, on that lens. I think Samsung is 9 inches or something like that. 25 centimeters or something.
25 centimeters for Samsung, and Apple's is a meter for the 4 times.
Yeah,
camera.
I didn't find any official, even on Reddit, no one officially says, but it sounds about right. It's like 100 centimeters or whatever. So, but if you do use the slider on Final Cut camera app and you use like focus peaking, you can see that the focus is actually able to get closer. So the hardware is there. What frustrates me is that the camera app itself, and I think we talked about this before, Apple sort of tries to guess what you're trying to do and make it too easy sometimes for users. My view is, and maybe for you, I'll open the floor for you guys to talk about this, but my view is, if it's a pro phone, let us freaking pretend that we're pros even, and control every setting that we want. On the regular iPhone, I don't care, but on the pro phone, we should have those settings more open. Discuss.
Matt, have you had any issues?
I've not had big issues. I'd say with my one with telephoto, it's more. Have you seen the same, Alex? It's very soft. The telephoto pictures. More photos. I've been testing out the video. I've done some videos, but I've noticed it's definitely with pictures. It's much more. It's softer.
Amazing for portraits. Amazing.
Yeah. It's brilliant for that, but it's quite soft in the results that I'm getting back. It's like I know there's always some AI in the background trying to sharpen up the pictures, but I felt this time there's not. I'm going to say it. There's not enough AI sharpening on the pictures this time at Zoom. Yeah. I know I never thought I'd say that because obviously you want your picture to be more natural as possible. But
you get the Pixel Pro doing the exact opposite, right? Maybe
opposite. Yeah, it's too much. Yeah, it's too much sharpening, But it seems like there's too little that I'm getting noisy. I don't want to say it's noisy. It's just soft pictures with my phone. I think you're absolutely right, though, about the pro point of view, and that is, I think one of the things that's always made me laugh about an iPhone, I've never said this before to all my videos, and that is to turn on the pro features. You actually have to go into settings, turn them all on, and then go back.
Or download another app, yeah.
Yeah, to do that manual configuration. I think you're right. There should be if you're on a Pro phone, I think what they should do is they should have it as like 2 options. I think you should have it as your normal, like say, if you've got like a Air or something like this. Yeah, you just got your normal camera app, or for your general kind of users, you have that camera. But then there's, at the bottom, you've got the little sliders. You got your video.
There's a little option there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Pro.
just say Pro. And then that's it. Opens everything up. And maybe, part of that should be that some of those features are more open at that stage. So the generic features don't give you as much flexibility. Like you just said there, the whole idea that it's trying to guess what you're trying to do. Don't let it get up to that stage, if that makes sense, to get up to the guess stage. When it's like 99% confident what it thinks you know what you're doing, put that in the normal app kind of settings. And then anything what's pro, maybe that's where you flick the switch and then go, right, I'm in Pro mode. So basically, in a way, I hate to say it, puts it down on the user, because if they mess up the picture or the video, well, you can set it up correctly.
I mean, exactly. I mean, in that scenario, in that scenario, I forgot to mention one thing that I noticed that Apple is trying to do with the iPhone is, as you move closer to a subject on the 4X camera, you can all try this. The camera, as you get closer to the subject, will auto switch between the telephoto and the main lens. I'm like,
I've noticed
just
that.
freaking stick with the camera that I chose. Yeah.
I can see it in real time happening. Like I did it in my video, initial one. You can see if you put something in front of the 4x camera, it'll physically change to the 1x, and then the picture loses a lot of detail. And again, for a Pro phone,
and the autofocus messes up. Yeah,
a Pro phone shouldn't do that. Like that's a phone for a professional, and it just doesn't have that capability. Telemacro is something that Pro users like to use. I love with the S25 Ultra using the 5x camera to shoot video and close-ups of product shots and just getting really close to subjects. The iPhone can't do it.
In photos is easy, right? Because in photo you see the flower light up, and you go, right, that's what's happening here. In video, when do you ever want to switch lenses? But when is that scenario that let the user after I press recordings? I mean, before recording, maybe Apple is probably trying to tell me this is a better lens for what you're trying to shoot. Fair enough. But if I press record on that lens, freaking stick with it. Don't keep fucking flicking.
See, this is where as someone who's now used both sides of the fence, and whilst granted the iPhone's only been here for like 3 weeks, I value that Samsung give you options to turn things off. Like in Samsung's camera menu, in an app called Camera Assistant, you can turn off auto lens switching, where you can actually physically tell the phone, don't tell me which lens to use, I'll decide, and turn that toggle off. And there's no such toggle that exists on the iPhone in any capacity, because it wants to control the experience versus giving you flexibility and options.
Yeah. I mean, and I was going to say, to be fair, it's easy enough to download Blackmagic Design app and Final Cut app. And in there, you can physically say, only use this lens, only use this microphone or whatever. So I think that's, maybe that's that's what Apple wants us to do. But
I just thought
it should be on the main camera.
Yeah, I just thought of something. If I remember now, when it was doing the leaks of the 17 Pro Max, I remember now there was a leak what said that there was going to be a Pro camera app coming. I remember this now.
Yeah, they did.
It was a few months. It was back like in May time, wasn't it? June time. Yeah, I wonder if that's still in creation. Maybe Apple do know this. And maybe it is still coming.
Maybe just give us, what they're calling the Final Cut camera app. Just make that the feature. Don't make us just.
Yeah.
But there's good stuff in there that should just be part of the. It's a little bit to an extent what Expert RAW is in Samsung world. Don't make me download that thing every time, because obviously I need it. just give me as part of the phone, and maybe it's because it's a bit heavy.
Like Sony phones do it. Sony phones do that. It's one thing I hate about Sony phones. You have to go into the camera app for photos, and you have to go into the video app for videos. I don't like that. But it was.
Yeah, I think they've changed that recently.
Oh, they've changed that recently, but there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember it used to be like
Xperia
that?
5, it was like that. Yeah, it was a nightmare.
Yeah, it was like that. But yeah.
You said a minute ago you were on 26.1, Alex. Are you running the beta then on your
26.01? No, that's the official. Yeah, that's 26.1 is the beta. Yeah, which I'm not using.
No, which I don't know has been a part of my undoing, because one of the issues I mentioned we were going to talk about Apple support. So none of us like to do it. I know it's the last resort. None of us, all of us, have got too big a nuts to think we need to phone support. And equally, it's never going to be a great experience. So this whole OpenGate thing, the nerd that I am, I really wanted to record in ProRes RAW, OpenGate, and in Apple Log 2. And I actually messaged you one Sunday, didn't I? I said, this Samsung T7 not working. It's telling me storage full in the Blackmagic app and in the Final Cut camera app, storage full, which it wasn't, totally empty. So anyway, I thought maybe it's not quick enough for this new codec. I got the Lexo Go Pro, that one that everybody uses.
Definitely works for me, yeah.
Exactly the same issue. Now, I then phoned Apple support. And my takeaway on this is Apple support are really lovely guys, really patient, but also fucking useless. I got eventually passed through to the top guy in the video department. This was after 6 hours over 2 days. Yeah, I'm that much of a nerd. I was determined to get it to work. By the way, it still doesn't. So I'll get through to this top guy in the video desk. And I said, and he was reading the notes and he said, so you got an issue with the camera? I said, well, yeah, it's quite niche. OpenGate. Well, what app's that then? I thought, Jesus, you're supposed to be the top guy at the Apple video support desk and you're asking what OpenGate, is it an app? And I thought at that point, I might as well just cut this conversation. I lost the will to live. I'd invested so much time into it. It still doesn't work. And the only thing that they can possibly throw, I've messaged Blackmagic as well, is possibly because I'm on the beta. But have you got any idea how hard it is to backtrack from a beta to the original OS? It is
you
a
have
huge
to brick
ask.
the phone. Yeah.
Did you back up on your Mac?
Well, I did. But once you're on a beta, you're backing up from a beta. So he said, have you got a backup that's not from beta?
Yeah.
And I said, no,
Yeah,
I've been running betas for a year or so
You
at
have
least.
to brick it. Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah,
so then I thought, is it really
Yeah.
worth me just flattening a phone and just take it back to factory and building it from new? Surely it's not. I'm never going to use bloody OpenGate anyway. I'm not going to upload a Square video. I'm never going to use it. So I have finally seen the sense. But it's just annoying. It's just annoying that they're saying it's working and it isn't. And no one's got an answer to why I'm getting this storage full. So I can't record in OpenGate.
Yeah.
I can record OpenGate if I use 4K, 265. But I can't use OpenGate in Apple Log 2.
Surely that's a Blackmagic issue, not an Apple issue. Like if that's their
it's
on
the
the
same
beta,
in
it's
Final
not.
Cut. Same in Final Cut camera as well.
Yeah,
That comes out. So
I would say it's a beta problem.
yeah, so I have considered flattening it.
It
works for me, mate.
You shouldn't install betas on your primary device, should you?
I know.
This.
That's why
I know.
That's why I put One UI 8.5 on my Ultra that I'm not using.
So I've now turned off the updates for beta, and I'm waiting for the public release of 26.1, and hopefully it'll kind of right itself. So I've decided to be grown up and patient, which goes against the grain.
On that storage thing you mentioned, because I know we were texting on Sunday, and I said, well, the first thing we said about that storage, sometimes, the T7, the SanDisk Extreme, I hate having to put them on blast, but those two specifically, with the 16 Pro last year, so it wasn't even as high end as the 17 Pro in terms of video, they will accept it. They will let you record. But if you record anything over like 4 or 5 minutes, those will get warm. And those drives, they are not fast enough to support, like they will throttle. And you won't notice it. You will still record. But when you come back and try and edit the video, you will notice drop frames. So I'm always saying, yes, they're cheaper. But sometimes, spending about $20, $30, 30 quid in the UK is worth it because you're going to get something that can record for maybe even like 20, 30 minutes. Yeah.
I'm not going to plug an advert here, but have you heard of the Charge one? Charge, who do their power banks with the fan in it.
That's one of the best ones I've seen. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's got the fan
super
from
fast
the hard
as
drive.
well.
Yeah, and it's got it from the hard drive. I'm not trying to plug them, but yeah, it's just
I like that it's got a display as well, right?
Yeah, I've used it on my 17 Pro Max. And I did the same thing. I did ProRes, and
no,
I was
definitely share a link with us, and we'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah, where's my affiliate link?
Yeah.
But yeah,
we'll do that later.
The main thing is, I've recorded for 15 minutes with that, at ProRes just because I wanted to see what ProRes was like, on the 17. You have to do it. And it wasn't getting warm. And first of all, I thought, oh, is it the iPhone? Because obviously the iPhone's been with its vapor chamber. But no, I noticed the hard drive as well. Hang on a sec. This is not as bad as either. It was making a massive noise, the fan. You could hear the fan go, but it was keeping it cool. That was the main thing.
Well, I went out and spent, what was it, 170 quid on that Lexar SSD. Which is one everybody uses. I know, Alex, you're a big fan of it. And, I'm getting the same issue on that. So clearly it's an issue with me, with my phone, with the Beta, whatever. I don't know. But it is a great hard drive, and I'm glad I got it because it fits really well onto the small rig cage that I've got.
It's a tiny thing, yeah.
Yeah. You can mount it back phone. So it's a step for the good, whatever happens. So there you go. That was my trials and tribulations. While we're talking software, One UI 8.5. Daniel, you just put a video up about that.
I did. There has been, Samsung this year in particular have been leaking like a rusty sieve when it comes to software. Like, it started with One UI 8. We got hands-on with One UI 8 very, very early this year on like the Flip 6, like a very early build, internal build leaked out. And the same's happened again with 8.5. This isn't launching till next year. There is the beta, whatever you want to call it, isn't going to be starting until probably November, maybe December. But this will launch. This software you're seeing on the screen now will launch with the S26 Ultra. And somehow internal builds leak out and people know how to install it, myself included. And straight away I went and did it, and just to see what was different and new. And for those that are listening, what is happening on the screen right now is you could see that Samsung have implemented a very control center-like quick panel in that you can actually customize it a lot more than what you used to. The quick panel was kind of fixed before, whereas now you can remove things, you can change their size, you can reposition them, add extra controls, although in the build I had before it wasn't working. I just updated to a new build. Again, I've got 3 builds of One UI 8.5 already. That shouldn't happen. Can you imagine if Apple's iOS 26, like an internal build, just leaked out on the internet and people just started installing it? Like, John Prosser would have been murdered by now. Like, he's already in, although he published an iPhone Air review, which I found was very strange. Yeah, just to keep publishing when he's under that much scrutiny. Anyway, One UI 8.5 showcases a lot of new things. The biggest thing aside from the quick panel that I noticed was that they seem to be putting a bit more emphasis on video. There was a couple of features there. There was one, in Pro Video mode, you could shoot 8K at 25 frames per second, as opposed to just 24 or 30. I was only in Pro Video mode, but I got Samuel Nam to tell me why 25 is good. Apparently it's something to do with the lights that flicker. The 25 FPS kind of helps reduce that or stop it altogether. So I thought that was neat that that's in there. And then I also noticed that in the gallery, if you film in log, you can actually color correct it in the phone itself, or there's an option there to add LUTs. And it doesn't work yet, adding your own LUTs. He's so funny. He's such a funny guy.
That's why I was just laughing.
He's such a funny guy. Anyway, there's the AK25, and yeah, the LUTs are going to be part of the gallery editing too. And with all the rumors around S26 Ultra supporting the APV video codec, it seems as if Samsung are really starting to step up the idea of content creation from a smartphone. I mean, they've always had the ability because they had things like Pro Video Mode, Expert RAW, but it seems as if video is probably really being pushed as a like iPhone alternative. And they already have great features. Like this week when I did do the social media team, I had the iPhone and I had the Ultra, and I showed the social media team, who all use iPhones, the dual recording function on here, where you can record from the 1x and the 3x function at the same time. And they loved it. They were like, this is actually really good because if you upload a video of a goal, you can upload 2 angles of the same goal from the one phone, and people will watch the video through twice to see both angles, and you get your view counts up. And they were like, that's actually quite genius. But I couldn't switch them from iPhone because they all have MacBook Pros, and AirDrop's my life, bro, was how they sort of spoke. So
Samsung needs to have a way to do that.
Right, yeah. I mean, I figured out how to quick share to my MacBook Pro through AirDrop.
You have to share that with me.
Yeah.
The website one.
Yeah. Oh, no, not the
Oh,
website.
no.
There's an app called AirDrop that you can install, and it works
AirDrop or
just
Blip,
like
they're really good. Yeah.
Is that the one what you
AirDrop.
get from GitHub? I did try the one from
Yes.
GitHub, and it worked for a while, and then it stopped working. I did an update on Mac OS, and then it killed it.
Yeah, it's still.
It has
I haven't
stopped,
done.
yeah.
I haven't upgraded
Yeah.
to Tahoe yet. Maybe that's why it's still working. But yeah, it works for me just fine. But yeah, One UI
I know the
8.5
latest one with the
seems
Gnostic
as
thing,
if that's the one. Seems as if Samsung are going to really push video and fluidity too. It's extra fluid too. Anyway, that's One UI 8.5. Crazy that I have it though. Like it shouldn't. No one should have this. I don't know how Samsung. I don't know how this happens.
4 or 5 months ahead
How's
of
your
time
battery
when it's going to be
life?
released.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not on my primary device, so I haven't checked the battery life with it yet. There was an issue the other day where it just boot looped because I was trying to add a control into the quick panel, and it just went in this loop. And even trying to turn it off, it wouldn't turn off. And I was like, "This isn't good." The phone got super hot too, and I was like, "Oh!" But it straightened itself out. I've got this new build; seems to be working fine. So
Nice one.
I was gonna,
Fingers crossed.
as you were talking about, that, I remembered something about. I asked a question before directly to Samsung about how is it possible that people like Honor, Oppo as well, they all have software that kind of does what those like Blip and AirDrop and whatever for the Mac. So you can download a Mac app from Honor, from Oppo, that will basically enable that sharing and sharing screen. Sometimes you can see your iPhone, your Samsung phone, or sorry, in this case, Honor phone, on the Mac screen, like that feature that you get with the iPhone, which is awesome. In some situations, that's really cool. Like if you're working, if you're busy in meetings and whatever, you want to keep an eye on your WhatsApp or whatever without pulling your phone out. That's really useful. I'm like, why can't Samsung build something like that? And the answer was really interesting. That apparently it's not Samsung's doing. It's Apple blocking it. And I've just heard, and I'm just got to be careful because if I mention the brand, I'll break embargo. But there's a brand launching a phone this month with that same functionality, and it's actually an improved functionality from what I've seen others do. Insane, including something that I've been wanting to try for a while, which is making the Apple Watch synchronize with an Android phone. I'm like, how did you guys do this? And again, apparently, we'll find out when the embargo opens.
This brand that you're talking about, they've cracked it. The Apple Watch syncs with their phone.
They've apparently. I mean, they've used open source software, but they apparently have clearance to publish in the App Store, so you can have your Apple Watch synced with your iPhone and synced with an Android phone.
Strange.
That is cool because it's not as good as being able to use the Apple with an Android phone and not have an iPhone. You still need the iPhone, but it's a great option for people who want to venture into the Android world and maybe without losing the iPhone.
My things with these sorts of solutions is Apple will close it. They will find, like, I've still got the original Galaxy Fold here, right? And I managed to get Samsung DeX for Mac working with this, and Samsung DeX for Mac hasn't worked for 5 years. But Apple closed that. Samsung DeX for Macs, you can't download that anymore.
There's something between Apple and Samsung, I think, particularly because
they're so close.
This will be the third
competitors. It's their biggest rival. Yeah, it's their biggest rival. I think I don't want to put down Honor, I don't want to put down Oppo, I don't want to put down OnePlus, all the other companies out there. Their biggest rival is Samsung, and I think it's the same sort of thing. I don't know if you guys ever get this on your YouTube, where sometimes someone copies a bit of your clips, and if it's a person who's got like about 400 subscribers, I don't care. I'm like, whatever. In a nice way of putting it, you're not even monetized or anything like this. If somebody takes my clip and they've got like 500,000 subscribers and they're getting like about 50,000 views in 24 hours, I'm going to put down my foot and go, hang on a sec, you didn't ask me about this. And do you see what I mean? Put that scenario with Samsung and Apple with that software. They're seeing Honor, they're seeing Oppo, they're seeing that as they're cute. zipping, and they're not bothered.
Potentially.
They're
Yeah,
not
sort of
bothered.
patting him on the head, saying, there.
Yeah. Well done. It's
Nice try.
Nice try. And it's kind of sort of thing like that. But the second, if they went huge, don't get me wrong. Yeah, I like Honor recently promoted that they in the foldable world, have they grown like 300% or something crazy in the last year or something?
Oh, that's a Graviton thing, wasn't it?
Yeah. And if they keep growing, and then obviously, if they overtake even, say, I know Samsung have done fantastic with their fold this time, but if they kept going and they overtook Samsung in the fold world, just saying that's when I think Apple would go, hang on a tick, close it off.
Yeah, let's block it.
The
Apple Watch one is interesting because that's, whether it's small or not, that is a huge door to open. It's like, anyway.
Because what's Apple's biggest strength is the fact that all their products work only with their products.
Exactly. Yeah. I was thinking that
it makes it really almost impossible to move if you like the Apple Watch. And I've been there with the Apple Watch Ultra. I loved the Ultra when it first came out, and I was like, man, I really can't leave the ecosystem. So I had to eventually I got an iPhone 13 mini just to keep the Apple ecosystem happy. But yeah, it was now I kind of just use all the watches. It's a Huawei one.
Well, that's been at the very center of a lot of their court battles, isn't it? The fact that they are gatekeeping and you can only use an Apple Watch with an iPhone, and it's that whole thing that's been at the crux of a lot of their legal woes recently.
To an extent, fair enough, right? They build amazing experiences and they want to keep that.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I mean, that's
think
kind of
where
it's a secret
where
sauce.
things get a little bit weird for me is that from a consumer, sometimes I just want to have the freedom to use whatever device I want, mix it with whatever other device I have,
Sometimes I want to have a burger from McDonald's and chips from KFC because, the KFC chips are better, but sometimes the burgers are better over there. Like, that's what I want. But this is like a scenario. Exactly.
Obviously, the slimline Daniel wouldn't be eating fast food anymore. We know that. That's just a make-believe. Or maybe it's absolute envy that you really want a burger
after
now.
a workout, yeah, maybe.
If I could just break in as a little aside, as we've just got onto the world of burgers, this is going to be random and very quick. I was away in Southend. Now, if you're in the UK, you kind of know what Southend's like. I went there. Monday night, there was nowhere to eat, not a single restaurant. If I wanted ice cream, candy floss, and donuts, I was good. Oh, and fish and chips. I could have eaten at a number of places at 11 o'clock in the morning. That's a meal. I ended up having to have a Wendy's Baconator. That's how bad my Monday night got. Yeah.
That sounds good.
Hey, I loaded it up with cheese and 2 portions of fries. I went deep that night.
Didn't even know we had a Wendy's here. Okay.
Yeah. There's one in Southend.
There's a couple.
So while we're talking about swelling up and getting fat, let's talk about fingers and the, did you see that segue? And the Samsung, Samsung Ring. Who's taking it?
I've got one on, so I may as well start. But I think Matt's got probably a bit closer to the story than I am too. I can just talk about, I stopped wearing mine because of the fact I just felt it was uncomfortable and it kept banging into my phone. And then looking at this story here, it seems like there's probably like a battery issue with Daniel from Zone of Tech. He got denied boarding because of the fact his ring started swelling up. But Matt, you've actually been speaking to him, right?
Yeah, I've been texting him about this because I saw the video.
Sorry, I just heard ring.
Yeah.
I just heard I said ring swelling up, and I saw there was a bit of a chuckle there, so I just had to acknowledge.
We are all fighting this, aren't we? Yes.
Yeah.
Not falling for it.
Yeah. I saw the video, so I messaged Dan straight away. I was like, "Gosh, are you all right?" And he's come back and said, "Yeah, it was pretty scary and everything with it, but yeah, watching the video and stuff, it's on his channel. Yeah, it seems like it started swelling up, and then obviously before he got on his flight, he quickly went to the bathroom, toilet, wherever you are in the world, and he was just like applying soap to it, water, trying to get it off, and he couldn't. And he had to go on the flight, and then he came back, and I think he was in Birmingham. He had to stay in Birmingham in the UK. I don't know the exact flight things, what was going on. So apologies, Daniel, if you watch this podcast, you can correct it. But
he did an update video on it.
Yeah, and they basically had to get it removed at a emergency room, A&E, whatever you want to call it, and he had to stay overnight in a hotel. And he's returned the ring back to Samsung, but luckily they paid for his night over in the hotel and things like this. But it's pretty crazy. I've even got my own little story about it as well. So he says he's heard from 2 other people, Daniel has, that have had the same problem. I might be a third, potentially. I'm not just trying to jump in there to go, oh, look, I have the problem too, but it's a weird one. So in the last 6 months, I've lost, not to boast, I've lost 50 pounds in weight.
Nice.
Thank you. I don't know, Alex, do I look slimmer to you?
Yeah, you do.
You see me.
Well, in person as well.
Oh, right, thank you. But
Alex, at this rate, you and me are the only ones that haven't lost weight. You're aware of that, aren't you?
Yeah, he doesn't need to lose weight. I saw him last week. He's fine. He's fine. He's an F1 pro. He is. You know, we'll talk about that. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, he's a racing driver pro. He is. Whipped everyone's ass. But anyway, yeah, go back. So yeah, I've lost that weight. Now I wear 2 other rings. You can see I've got my wedding ring on. And I've got this gold ring as well. Last month I got these cut down, because obviously my fingers have got a bit slimmer. Now, weirdly, I got my Galaxy Ring on release last year. And obviously, I would say I was at my fattest, as it were, then. And I got it to the right size. But here I am 18 months later. And if I put my Galaxy Ring on now, it feels tighter than I did 18 months ago when I put it on. It doesn't look swelled, but it's tighter. And then, because I didn't even cross my mind. So I heard about Daniel and his story. I was like, hang on a sec. One sec. Yeah, that ring feels tighter. And yeah, I've had these 2 rings here downsized. So,
That's worried.
It doesn't. I had to look at it yesterday. It doesn't look swelled, but then I was thinking to myself, surely it should be more loose.
Did I miss part of the story as to what they thought the fault was with them? Was it seawater again? Was that part of what I heard the conversation was, or?
I think he suggested that may have caused, but he explained it that he did get into salt water, and he said that he did wash it afterwards, which is what Samsung recommends. Mm-hmm. It is IP68, so he will support that, and it can be submerged. But he won't support things like, if you're doing like extreme sports, and I don't think he did that. At least he didn't. Yeah, he didn't do like jet skiing or whatever, because that would have been okay. That's. He went against what they recommend. It was just basically in the water, not doing anything particularly crazy, and he did wash it afterwards, which Samsung does recommend. Actually, washing as it was expanding was a bad idea. He said it was actually making it worse, because water and lithium, not a good idea.
So almost as he was trying to get the ring off without putting water on it, it was getting even worse. It was exasperating the situation.
Getting worse, yeah.
Sounds like it, yeah.
So, I mean, it's scary, right? I mean, isn't it funny, though, that I was using a Rincon one, which is a completely separate brand. But my immediate reaction was, if that happened to Samsung, I'm like, so I haven't been wearing one for since that post. And I wonder how, because it got in the news, and some news outlets were completely over the top and kind of, as always, in media, you can see people like completely escalating the issue, even though, yes, it was serious, but some people were making out like he was hospitalized and whatever. But the point is, it's going to take a while, I think, for people to regain confidence in wearing those things, because I personally don't feel like, wearing any of those.
Well, a slightly different issue that when I've been away quite a lot recently, I've been taking charging banks with me, and of course I'm staying in other people's properties and Airbnbs. I'm kind of walking out thinking, I should go and unplug that, because we all heard the issues about bricks getting warm, and I don't want to be the one starting a fire in somebody else's property. And it's weird how you suddenly you see these stories, and we're all kind of glued to the same feeds and seeing the same stories and rumors come out.
It's such a scary thing, right? Here in the studio, I've got so many like phones and battery packs as well that we leave overnight. It's always a worry whenever I leave. Like,
Yeah, should I? Yeah. I went back the other night and just unplugged it, because I was conscious. I had no reason to be, except I don't want this to be the first of the devices that felt. Actually, leading on from what Daniel was talking about Samsung leading heavily into video next year, I just wanted to share this with you guys. It's a creator that I watch quite regularly, Michael Tobin. He's a photographer, videographer, and it's just, if you're watching, you'll be able to see the rig that he's got set up here. So he took this camera out. And my question I want to ask you guys, how far would you go in making your iPhone or your Samsung, whatever, your phone, into a full-blown camera rig? I mean, he must have he's got a full monitor on there. He's got a huge, great tele lens on there. It's a rig and a half. And now he's a photographer. So he's admitted that's not my A rig.
Yeah.
But, that's the question. How far do you want to go in taking your phone to that next level?
I think it depends on. Yeah, go on, Danny.
Honestly, I have absolutely no desire, aside from maybe making a video out of it, which I'm assuming that's why he did it. There's no reason for any normal person who's not a YouTuber to do this. Not one. Like a wedding videographer, they will have their equipment for their wedding. And then they're not even going to think about filming a wedding on an iPhone because for them, like it doesn't make financial sense to set that up that way. Whereas for him it does, because he will probably maybe have had a sponsor or he's got some sort of content idea for it. It's a great idea. Probably would have done really well. 20,000 views in 2 days. Decent. But for anyone normal, I don't. What's the desire? Like, what's
if you
the point?
turned up with an iPhone at my wedding to record,
exactly,
I would be like, "What the?
What have I just paid him 10 grand for?"
Yeah, I could pay a 10-year-old to do this, but let him borrow my phone. Yeah, it would be like that.
There's a kind of a niche market in there of entry-level creators that do want to rig it up. But when I say rig it up, they probably want something to stabilize the phone. So I do get the point, and I have a couple of just things that you can hold with
like
two
cages
hands.
And stuff.
Also something that has a button so that you can press record without touching the screen, so you don't get a little wobble there. So I can see the use for
just use
rigging
the camera
the
control
phone
button.
app. But
there's the volume up.
I don't see. I think once you go beyond a level of like putting a monitor on the phone, I mean, the thing is a screen. It's like, but again, if you are in a particular project that you want the look of the iPhone, I mean, it wasn't like 28 Days Later or something, a movie filmed entirely on the iPhone, or some movies.
There has been one, and Apple do it themselves, didn't they?
They do it themselves, and I think that's more of a marketing
they just
thing.
did. Yeah,
That's the sort of rig you're talking
to
about,
be
Daniel,
honest,
Alex, that sort of thing. So it's
exactly.
It's
You
got
have a
little key
light,
light
you have a
on.
microphone,
got the
you have the SSD,
hard drive. Yeah.
I've got a couple of those.
Apple's done it. Yeah,
and I think
Apple did it as a marketing thing. It was good.
Yeah, it's a very
and if
clever
you're
move.
using multiple cameras as well, it will be a lot cheaper to have multiple iPhones than having multiple DSLRs. So I think there's a use case that, as I said, is a niche thing. Once you go beyond, once you start putting a monitor and you can, okay, well, what are you trying to see that you can't see on the? So you are shooting log maybe, and you want to see the LUT. Fair enough, but I think just get a cameraman because the money you spend on that rig. You can get DSLR. I used A7S III, which is less than $2,000 now. So
The idea of smartphone videography and photography is that it's mobile and portable, and you have quick access to great cameras in your pocket at all times. The second you start to add things to that and make it more, then just get a camera, and rig the camera up, and then you've got almost like that's going to be more purposeful, and then you're not loading your phone up with all this extra footage of other people's weddings. Like I know, obviously. Probably plugged in an SSD, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a case for say, for example, I watch a lot of like UFC personalities, and when it gets close to a fight week, for example, they get followed by their team and their team are all recording. Sometimes you see like someone recording with a big old rig with a camera and a gimbal and all of that. But a lot of times when they're in a car, they're on an airplane or whatever, you see a phone being used, and a lot of the times they'll be in some sort of rig. So I see the point of having that as an additional tool to your toolkit. But
the monitor and the lens,
that as your main to have that as your main rig and start adding stuff up, I think
it's
at that point you go
phone.
Well.
Backup camera,
it's
a good backup camera.
Like the media team that we were in this week, all of the interviews that I did with parents and kids and celebrities that were there at the tournament, that was all done on an iPhone, and he was just handheld, vertical. Like everything I disagree with, like vertical content is like the bane of my existence. But it was all for Instagram and social media. It wasn't for anything other than that. But he didn't have any rig. He just held the phone handheld and filmed me with the 1x lens because he only had a 16, not even a Pro. I was like, dude, get the Pro.
Matt, do you use the iPhone for your videos a lot or not really?
I use it hilariously. I'm going to say this. For my B-roll, all of my B-roll is all done on an iPhone. Every single bit. Main reason is what we just talked about. You know how we said about AirDrop,
AirDrop.
It's just convenient. Yeah,
air. Yeah, there's so much air in the world. But yeah, that's what I do. I do my main A roll. Obviously, I've got a Sony. What have I got? An A6700, I think.
That's what I got. I got 2 of them.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, great camera. So yeah, that's what I use. And then I do it for my A roll. All of that. Put on an SD card. Slot that over. Move that over to my Mac Studio. Done. But everything was B roll.
I did miss. Yeah, I was without an iPhone for 6 months this year. That was the only thing that actually, every time I use it, oh my God, it's so nice to just AirDrop something.
I'll tell you one thing I do really, really like. I'm not going to go try and change the subject too much, but I'm using this quite a lot for my B-roll, the Air. The main reason is because of how light it is to do the B-roll in your hand compared to an iPhone 17 Pro Max. When you're just doing like a B-roll where you're just doing a scan on your table, you don't need to use telephoto. You don't need to do this. You don't need to do that because you can get up close. The only one thing that's annoying me about this phone is that there's no macro, because sometimes you have to get really close in to see something.
Or cinematic.
Yeah, or cinematic. Yeah, can't do it that well. Yes, I know that phone, but you can't AirDrop. You can't AirDrop. I would have said, the Edge would have been better, but you can't AirDrop. So
I just got one of these things to go around. You know, you put it around your neck and you have your phone that way.
Stop it,
Because
you can be like that train guy. Who's the train guy? Who's the train guy? Oh,
yeah, he puts on his head. Yeah.
Yeah, you see like a group like that. Yeah. Oh, what's his name?
Yeah, it's
Francis.
a great look.
Is it Francis something?
Francis, yeah. So he's a train spotter guy, and
the train spot.
Anyway, I think Sam, who we have had in the pod a couple of times, Sam Nam, he uses that look. He puts almost like a GoPro look in here, and it makes it look even more hilarious. He doesn't need it because it's funny anyway. But no, I think because I'm always kind of reluctant to film with the phone, whatever phone. But I think now they are so good that I think having something like this in your bag is great, especially if you're reviewing watches. One of my main issues is because you can't stream the video,
what you're seeing on the screen.
Yeah.
You can screenshot, but you can't see live. So if you're doing a workout or if you want to show something like on the menu, you need both hands. So that is really useful for that.
I got a chest strap that I wear out in public that I strap my DJI Osmo Pocket 3 to, and embarrasses my wife something chronic because I walk around like recording. I had to do my watch review the other day.
So many jokes. I can't.
And I just had this thing sticking out from here, and she goes, "That doesn't look right." I go, "Well, what are you going to do?"
No, strap-ons never do.
In answer to what she's going to do, there's so many things she could do to you, Daniel. So many things.
Daniel, does it ever fall down like that?
It does. It does. When it's been working too hard. And then
this is descending into a demonetization area.
Droopgate happens. Are we all gimbal users, by the way, when we're out shooting?
Yeah,
no,
I use
sometimes.
I use it a lot. I've got the DJI OM something.
I think it's
and the
Insta
360.
Yeah,
got both. I think the DJI is better in terms of the foot that it comes with is more stable than the Insta 360 one.
Also, a little bit of personal. I'm going to use the pod purely for a bit of personal info here. Might be of interest to somebody, but if it's not, sorry. When you're traveling, say overseas, and you want to take a tripod, what tripod are you using? Because obviously my one at the moment is still about sort of a metre long, even when it's collapsed. So, the
lightest possible.
So you can get them, obviously, that collapse right down to like a suitcase size, can you?
Yeah, so I'll recommend one that I use. I mean, it's not the most stable one, but it will go quite high. But the reason I like it is because everyone I showed it to is like, oh my gosh, they don't expect it to be light because it looks just like a traditional tripod, but it's the lightest thing I've ever found. It's lighter than the Peak Design one. So Peak Design does a really good one, like a carbon fiber one, but it's actually quite heavy. It's like over 1 kilo. Whereas this, I think, is just under 1 kilo, and it's the only problem is, it's one of those that you have to extend and twist 3 times per leg to get it to the full extension.
You're not using it all the time. You're using it when you're away on location shooting, right? So
Yeah,
Give me
and
one sec. I'll show you
sometimes
my
I
one. It's
forget
just
to
here.
get
I'm
back.
gonna grab
Yeah,
one.
please.
Yeah,
Yeah,
one sec,
please.
one
Yeah. And Daniel, when I asked about gimbals, you did a big firm head shake. So you're not much of a gimbal user. When you use your phone out and about, your handheld.
Yeah, because whenever I'm out, I'm not actually out to shoot content really. Like I will be out and then go, oh, I actually should capture this while I'm here. I never intentionally bring stuff with me to record. And if I do, it's the Pocket 3, which is a gimbal anyway, because it's a stabilizer. Like the thing
you don't need one for
stabilizes.
that. Yeah.
I don't need one for that. And then the phone, I'll just record handheld if I need to. Or with the Fold, I've got flex mode, which is basically just like a tripod. I can sit it down on the flat surface, and I've got that sitting there anyway. It's just
I used that yesterday,
bothered.
actually. Yeah. Exactly that.
So good to have it in your pocket.
We're talking about having the phone at the right moment. I'm just going to try and pull up something that I was lucky enough to capture this week.
I can't find the tripod I'm talking about, but I've got to say about my tripod.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's only about this big. And what you can do with that one then is obviously you can extend it right out. It's a telescopic one, but at the end of it, because it's not a strap.
I was just saying,
but at the end of
it's strap-on size.
No, yeah. But it's basically it's about that big when it folds down. It's got the tri-legs at the bottom, so you can open it up, so the legs come out, but they don't extend out. They just one end. But the other end, what's the coolest bit? It's MagSafe with a suction, so it can onto your phone.
That's useful.
Yeah,
and it goes up to about 1.1 meters tall. In fact, you might have seen me use it, Alex. I brought it along to the Samsung things when we've been to that.
Okay,
That's
no,
what
I
I've
haven't paid
used.
attention though. Yeah, that sounds great though.
And that is just in my bag, and that only weighs probably about 300 grams, 400 grams.
So there are some good options out there then, yeah.
There are some good. That's what I use. I take that when I'm traveling. That is the one. I wish I had it here. I don't know where to put it now. I probably left it in my case,
Matt was talking about the beauty of using the iPhone Air. I did a whole video on it this week, and I just happened to be walking back to my cabin as this blacksmith was doing it. He said, wait around a minute, there's quite a good moment happening, and just wait for this. I was there just when this happened. And I was like, well, okay, so I'm in the right place at the right time. That was, well, I said, how the hell does that? Yeah, I know. And that was kind of just his regular day. And I thought, okay, well, that's perfect. I just had the phone exactly. I was walking past him, and it was just one of those times I was in the right place at the right time kind of thing, So, I think it's time we should talk about that Linus story. Alex, I remember I sent the video through to you and you had a watch of it, snapshotting it, basically, I think I'm right in saying. He was talking about...
Yeah, and there's been an update recently as well.
Yeah.
After that.
Yeah, so do you want to have a quick chat?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's to do basically with the fact that he noticed their views were down, but their rev was static and their like ratio was static, and they couldn't work out... That was the kind of discussion they're having, wasn't it? That the views were like a third down in some instances.
Yeah, in his case, is very impactful, right? I mean, in our case, AdSense, I always see AdSense as a bonus, really. If it goes away, it goes away. So it's not where the revenue is. But for him, when you get millions of views, that is actually a big chunk of cash. So he was seeing something like a video that should be doing 3 million is only doing 1.2, 1.5 million. So it's like, so you're like, what's going on here? And he was kind of open to share about, maybe it's a kind of a wake up call that they need to improve the content. But as you said, the like ratio was actually insanely higher than the highest ratio, like the like to views ratio is those spikes somewhere there. So it suggested that YouTube was basically just showing it to a better audience, to a better aligned audience, not to as many. And he also said, maybe they just turned off showing videos to like displays, displays that you have sometimes that people are like not really watching. They're just in the background playing YouTube. There's a lot into that video. There's a lot to unpack in there. But yeah, I think I have seen random stuff going on recently. So there's definitely been some sort of algorithm change. But something that someone else pointed out was that not YouTube, but an ad blocker recently blocked YouTube. So the view counts from a browser it was not being reported back to YouTube. So you might see that the views has gone down when they haven't really. People are still watching a video, but this ad blocker is actually blocking the YouTube reporting, which was very interesting. I'll share a link.
So it's not getting the analytics back. So the ad blocker's blocking.
Yeah, I think that's things being fixed, but it's been going on for a few weeks. Well, I was in another chat, and Pete Matheson, who we also had here, was sharing some details on that, which just was so it's not just YouTube change. I mean, YouTube certainly did something, but it feels like there are other things that could have been impacting Linus as well, because this ad blocker is huge, right? Millions of people are using ad blockers. They all refer to this one thing, which is like a source for what to block and what to not block. And this thing where the source is used by several other ad blockers. So it's not like just one. So if someone is blocking youtube.com from reporting, then it's going to obviously have an impact in
my only
views.
question I'll have on that one, though, Alex, is, for example, have you ever gone to analytics? Where do you get the majority of your views from? Because mine, the majority are all from mobile devices. I would say literally probably about 70%. About
TV's
70% are problem. TV's going up, yeah, that's strange.
Yeah, I was going to say, TV's gone devices, from 15 to 20, yeah.
But what I'd say is with those devices, it's hard, apart from maybe Android, I don't know, but it's hard to put an ad blocker in place to stop adverts. So I agree what you're saying, but then at the same time, I'm going to myself, the impact it's doing would be... this is the thing, right? This is one... would be as big. Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge, but it's not as big. I mean, in his case, he was pointing out to maybe 4 or 5 different things that he could relate, kind of point the issue at.
Point it to, okay.
But this one wasn't actually mentioned. This one is one that I just discovered a few days ago that is happening. But yeah, it's just an ever changing thing, right? That we have to deal with, really. A/B testing. The jury is out whether it's helping or hindering. I'm doing it because with these new features, I always feel that we've got to use it. That's my view. But at the same time, after 2 days, if I don't see like a clear winner, I'll just select one and stick with one. But for the first couple of days, I'll let YouTube have this A/B test and see if it has a clear. In some cases, it helps because it tells you which one is definitely not working. And then it might be close between 2, and then it's like, okay, flip a coin, really. But I'll carry on.
Do you know what I don't
using...
like about that, Alex, though? Do you know what I don't like? It's the whole thing that you have to put a title with a thumbnail. You can't
Not anymore.
That's changing, isn't it?
Not anymore. You can now mix and match.
That's why
now you can do thumbnail only, title only, or thumbnail and title now. So we've got 3 options.
Okay, yeah, because I saw the one where it was like one thumbnail to one title, one thumbnail to one title.
That was what's been for a long time. Yeah. In the last 2 weeks, they've changed it. And if you go in there now and you click A/B testing, you see you can change 3 thumbnails. You can change 3. You can select as well. Do you want to A/B test the same title with 3? Which is cool.
Okay. I might give that a go.
The problem really that we've been saying from the beginning of this is like they will select the winner based on AVD, so average view duration. So it's somewhat helpful. I think if you look at long-term health of the channel, that's probably the best thing to go by, right? To people watching for longer and coming back and watching more. But there are videos, especially in the tech space, that you don't care really, because a lot of them are not going to be evergreen. You just want the click. And once people are in, hopefully they will stay. But sometimes I think, like iPhone season, honestly, I just want people to click because there's so many, it's such a competitive space. I want to get the click first and foremost. In some situations, so basically YouTube, just let us choose, right? Some situations I like the CTR to be the winner. In other situations, I want the AVD, but I can't choose right now. It's just AVD.
I think, Daniel, you're much the same as me. You don't do much in the way of A/B testing, do you?
I dabbled once the titles came in. I tried it with a couple of, but it was just a real small tweak, subtle with the titles. But I find I just don't have enough title ideas at the time of publishing. Like I'm just wanting to get the video uploaded, and I don't have anything else yet. And because of how good YouTube is at when you change something, they don't punish you. Like if you change a thumbnail and your title, they're not going to punish you for that change. And if anything, it might help. I prefer to let it stew for a couple of days, go back and change the thumbnail, change the title, and then see what happens, as opposed to doing it in the moment. But like the S25 Ultra versus iPhone 17 Pro Max video that I did there, is this your best Apple? Was the title I had. And then I tried with another one, and I was like, I don't even know why I bothered trying. Is this your best Apple was by far my favorite one, and I knew, and it's the one that won.
Yeah.
Same as this, It's Not Fair with Fold 7 versus iPhone 17 Pro Max. I knew that It's Not Fair was going to win, but I did it anyway because I thought I'll give it a go. But yeah, I don't know. If I have something, if I'm undecisive, I'll try it, but I'm not good at it, at deciding at the time. So I usually just come back to it later.
It depends also we all know the audience, right? We know if I say don't waste money on your iPhone, it's kind of, all right, I don't need that. That's I've tested 4 or 5 years. It always works. But it's when I do like something that goes a little bit against the grain. So if I'm reviewing an exoskeleton, it's like, then I have to be a little bit creative to get the click, and it's not going to work. But I think in some situations, I want that test to tell me more. But yeah, it's just difficult. So all of them now, I think I'm using A/B testing in some way, shape, or form there. But but there are examples.
I always do it with my thumbnails. I always do it with my thumbnails. I always have 3 thumbnail options. Always, always do that one.
Done that too.
Because I've always, what I'd say is that we are a world of pictures we scroll through, and we look at the picture first. Quite a lot. Well, I don't know if everyone does this, but we always scroll through the picture, look at the picture first, then we look at the title. So I think in a way the thumbnail is a bit more important because it does that. I know some people just like to read first, but majority of people see the picture and then click through. Yeah, as it were.
As a viewer, I've seen examples where there's a channel. I mean, obviously, these massive channels will benefit from this a lot more than we are, because at kind of a small tweak will generate hundreds of thousands of views extra. So it will make a big difference for them. For us, it's kind of impossible to see really sometimes what difference is making. So you have to just pick one of the 3. If it's 2% between them, so be it, right? But I've seen that as a viewer, what you're saying is that it works for me, right? Sometimes YouTube will show you the first one, and you can tell that, when you turn the TV on later or whatever, you go, hang on, that's the same video but with a different thumbnail. But that thumbnail might actually, okay, now I like it because it now tells me something that I'm more interested in. Maybe the thumbnail, like you're saying, is making more of a difference. Impact, but I think, I don't know how many times is YouTube going to show the same video to the audience, right? It's a tricky. The impressions don't seem to change that much with the A/B test. It's like this, you're probably getting the same number of impressions.
I started off doing it, and then I noticed so little difference that I've stopped. And my thought now is, I like to put the pressure on myself, come up with one thumbnail that I think is going to tell that story. And that's on me then. If I get that wrong, okay, I wear it. But so I only do one and put all my effort into creating that one. And this week with the video I put up, that horse, the burning, I thought that is a great thumbnail. But then I looked at it and I thought, well, that's not telling a story. It's good in the context of the video, but it'd be totally misleading. I want people in that doom scrolling moment going through their homepage to see it was a video about an iPhone Air. That has to be the hero. It was, as much as a great picture.
Here's a game changer, and I think this my video tomorrow is gonna hopefully prove it. With AI and how powerful it is now that you can generate you doing anything. I think that need to have multiple thumbnails will probably be reduced, because you like you're saying, you can get one that's one and done. So tomorrow's video, I'm not going to do multiple thumbnails because I've already done it 2 weeks ago. Like that, it's about the telephoto thing. I just got a picture of 2 of me, one generating a blurry image, one generating a crystal clear image. One is happy, one is sad, sort of thing. So I'm happy with that, but I couldn't do that myself. I'd had to prompt my way to get to that picture. So I think with AI, things might change, right? Because I don't know if you guys are using that for thumbnails yet, but it's such a I mean, there's no limits, right? It's just you can imagine anything now, and
What tool are you
I've just got
using?
used to make Photoshop. I've got used to
all of them.
Photoshop so much. So I
So
just do
Photoshop
everything
Beta,
Photoshop.
yeah, Photoshop Beta has now Nano Banana. No, but particularly Nano Banana, so you can use the latest Google model to generate. But if you go to Google AI Studio and you play with Nano Banana there, but there's so many other tools. So there's a lot of tools coming up with like aggregating the AI tools. So you just tell you what you want it to do, and you will select the models, or let you select the models to use, like ChatGPT or Sora or whatever. Because they all have different looks, right? So I think it's getting interesting, that space. It's messy in a way, but exciting in many other ways. Yeah.
I feel with making AI thumbnails for me, I'd spend more time telling it, no, not like that. I want it like this. No, you've still done it wrong.
Yeah.
Change it like this. And then it takes time to generate it.
Yeah.
And then that's where in my head I'm going, forget this. I know what I want. I could do this myself in Photoshop.
I've been there. Yeah.
I'll do it.
Try Nano Banana, because it's definitely
I have tried it. I tried it on Gemini. I've tried it with Gemini because obviously I've got a Google phone. You get given Gemini. I've tried it, and it is good. It's very impressive. I've always said this, that, for example, Gemini is always better at generating images than OpenAI. But I always find that OpenAI are better at making text.
Yeah.
There we go. So if you want your titles, you want your titles for your video, go to OpenAI. If you want your thumbnails, go to Gemini. Yeah.
What I didn't like before was the fact that, every time you made a change, your face changed, or something did look like you get 3 fingers or something. So now it's so prescriptive. You can say, right, put me in Apple Park wearing a different shirt, and all it needs is sometimes you can put like in a mix of, I think if you go back to my channel there, I'll just show you quickly. I mean, the video tanked, but not the point. The picture is actually a nice picture of the top right, the white picture with genuine deals written on it. So that one, I just put those items, scattered it on a Canva page, and I said, put all these items neatly organized on a desk. And it generated that entire picture. And then I said, add genuine deals to the wall. Amazing.
And that was
because those items are Nano Banana, yeah.
I've been wondering what this Nano Banana is. I've seen it in One UI 8.5. There's a toggle for the now brief for Nano Banana. Nano Banana.
Yeah, it's basically an image generation.
I don't know how to say it. It's the O and the A being at the end of the 2 words. It's throwing me off.
Yeah.
Here. Okay. I didn't know what it was. It's good to know what it was. I have not used AI for thumbnails once, and I feel like I'm just getting left behind with it because I just use Canva. Like the most basic thumbnail designer. I'm like one step above Microsoft Paint. That's pretty much what I am at the moment.
And just for rounding out, there was one other thing I mentioned to you guys at the top, and it's this new feature in the studio about collabs. So we can now tick this box here, and we can invite other creators to collaborate with us. And I think I understand it right. Like if we mentioned Michael Tobin early on, I think at the end of this, I could go and tag him, and then in theory, if he accepts that invite, that content gets put out in front of his audience. I think that's the way it works. And I'm assuming if we're the host, the monetization, if there's any, would come to us, I think.
I think it's more a case of if you both work on the video together. So it's not just about mentioning someone. Like it would be like Matt's on this video. We could invite him as a collaborator, and then it could be pushed out to his audience. It's not going to be on his page, but his audience will see that he was a part of this video. But it's not going to be something that'll be on his page permanently. But I don't think it's just you mentioned, like if we say MKBHD. It's like it's like a tag that someone was on the video and collaborated together with you. Like I think you could do it on Instagram when you upload a post to Instagram. We say invite a collaborator, and it can be sort of joint and again pushed out to their audiences alongside yours. But I think it's a bit more selective with YouTube, whereas Instagram is kind of just like anyone.
It's definitely working. It's again one of those things. When there's a new feature, we should all try. So for my next video, not this one this weekend, for the next one, I invited 2 collaborators to work with me on that, because it will be something like, I'm reviewing a phone and I want to bring in, say, Daniel to talk about his experience on Samsung. To have that extended reach, I think, we would be silly not to use that. So I've used my Brazilian channel. I've collaborated with myself. I just publishing my English videos to my Brazilian audience. I think I've done that for the last 10 videos. And I saw a gentle spike there. So I think it's definitely worth trying. It actually shows it nicely as well. When you're watching the video, it will show that the video there's a collaboration between 2 creators or 3 creators. It's actually quite cool how it shows to the viewer.
The metrics goes to who then? If you're working with 2 other collaborators, 2 other creators,
to where the video is hosted, to whoever published it.
Right, yeah, okay, that's kind of figured. I think we got through all of the list we wanted to get through. The only thing we didn't do is rage. Sorry, we didn't rage bait Alex with Matty Harpoa, but we could still do that just for shits and giggles. But
I had a question for Matt. Just quickly, you publish every day. How?
But I've got, like Max Tech, there's twins of me. Have you ever seen Max Tech's videos? You always get confused. Who's Max? Who's video? Yeah. No. Yeah. How do I do it? I don't actually know. I think what I will say is I do have editors. It's something what I introduced.
Plural.
Plural, yes, editors. So it's been a big help. Where you will notice, here we go, I'll give away a secret source here, a secret here. So if you went all the way back to around about this time last year, actually, so it's just before the MacBooks came out last year, the M4 ones, whatever they were, the MacBook Pros, that was it. Those ones there, I was doing everything on my own. And what happened was I went away to Disney World in Florida over the summer, just before the iPhone 16 launch it was. And it was getting stupid. We were on holiday, we were on vacation, holiday, whatever you want to call it, for 3 weeks. And I actually, when I was over there, we had a villa, and I actually went and bought a green screen, and I'd brought my camera with me, and I was actually recording.
Not really a holiday
when
then.
I was there. Yeah. No, and it was just like, this is stupid, Matt. This is getting beyond a joke. And it was kind of like going to myself, it's working out that whole sort of thing of you like to put out your content, I get that, but you're going to burn yourself out. So that's when I decided to get some editors in. So I've got 3 editors now, and I've also got somebody who does my thumbnails as well. So I've got editors for thumbnails, and so what I do is then I give them a list. I cut like I guess some of you guys do. We always have a work out a list for the next week or 2. So I just organize all of that out. And then the videos, what you see, you'll notice this now because I've said it, I've spoiled it. You'll notice that quite a lot of the time you'll watch it where my clothes are actually the same.
Batch recording.
Like in 3 videos in the batch recorded. So I would spend the day I'd probably spend a day before writing up all of the information. So I don't know about you, quite a lot of my videos, I don't read, like I don't teleprompt script or anything like that.
Neither.
Like
Same.
That. Same thing. So I have my MacBook or whatever in front of me, an iPad with the bullet points. And then basically I just record. And then what I've done is, like I'm giving away all my secrets here. I tell my editors where you see it, where I've cut or where I've slipped up. So where you see like a cut and then you move because you've moved in the camera. I tell them what you need to do is you need to put a B-roll in that place. Or, for example, switch me from full screen like this and switch me back to a circle in the corner and then switch me back again. So I've instructed my editors to do that.
Yeah.
Hide the jump.
Cut,
Yeah, hide the cuts, as it were. So that's how I do it. I bet I do probably twice a week. I do like about my news videos. I will do it. Like I've got to do it today, actually. I'll have a load of it. But like, for example, the videos that I'm pumping out this weekend, they were made back on Tuesday this week. But they were all given to my editors on Tuesday. And so I'm getting them coming back to me right now. I've got one more due today that will be going out Sunday, but I've got ready my Saturday ones already. And that's how I do it. I just pump it all together. I've learned to do it that way, especially that most of my videos are news ones and leaks ones. The other thing what I've also done is I used to, well, it's 50-50 now. I make half of my 3D renders myself, or I do the start of them, how I want them to look. And then I now send them off to somebody to polish them up.
They look really good, yeah.
Yeah, to make them look better. Because I don't know, you guys are probably like the same thing. There's like, I can edit videos and I can edit in 3D modeling, but I'm not the best. So I give it to people who are the best to polish it up. So
I think
what I've done is I've got a system like that, as it were, that I've got my thumbnail guy, I've got my editor guys, and I've got my 3D modeler guys, and I give them bits. And then I've got them all. It took a lot of training, I'll say that, to get everybody synced in. But now they just know exactly how much they want my video to be. That's why if you watch my news ones, they're always the same.
And I like how you're always in Apple Park as well.
Oh, yeah, green screen.
How do you, because looking at the views of daily videos, like I've been working for another YouTube channel and I found that daily uploads or like multiple uploads a week was diluting the audience and they weren't clicking on every video. How do you go about ensuring that like the audience stays wanting to click and they don't like get tired or start to sort of disengage with your videos from multiple uploads a week?
Yeah, I will say this. I found that I'm going to say, your suggested views you get, you suggested that, watch this next video on this channel.
Yeah, recommended.
I've never, even when I was doing less videos, that never ever went up. It's always been a like 3 or 5%. It's been awful ever since I ever started. And the way how I've always seen it, how I've done my channel, I see my channel as like a newspaper, as it were. It's, if you read yesterday's newspaper, it's old, gone, been and gone. And that's the way how I see it, that people are clicking on the video for that day. And I don't know if you guys get the same thing, but with normally quite a lot of the time, the first 24 hours of your video is where it's gone up, or do it that way around, it's gone up. And then normally after about 24 hours, even if I don't put another video, it's arching already and straightening out. So from that point of view, that's why I kind of see it in my head that a video lifespan, apart from the evergreen ones, like review ones, because people search for those, they always only just last, they've got a burnout time of about 36 hours. Most of them do, I've noticed. So that's, again, another reason why I did it. Don't get me wrong, I've experimented in the past where I did leave it, where I left videos, didn't make any videos for like about 6 days. I left it, and sure enough, maybe because the algorithm was used to me uploading another video, I don't know, but it just basically flatlined again, and it didn't promote it. The algorithm didn't work out, he's not uploading today, or the day after, or the day after that. I didn't try to boost those previous videos. It just didn't do it. And that's why I think, because most of my channel's news, it is what it is. It's, you want to know what's going on that day, because I think this is the other way of putting it. With other news channels out there, they're doing the same thing. And if you talk about the news that was talked about a week ago, if you're late to it, I know you will get some people who have not seen it, but you'll get a lot of people who will go, I've seen this already on somebody else's channel. Forget that. Skip that. I'm not going to click on it.
Yeah,
so
it's definitely... I mean, I admire anyone who uploads multiple videos a week, because I know how hard it is, right? Even if it's kind of you've got editors and you've got people helping, it's still there's a lot that goes on behind.
It's outsourcing. It's my WhatsApp is constantly flashing. And, while we've been sitting here, it's flashed. It's all my editors going, bam, 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 bam. What about this? Can you check this out? It's shifted the problem. But it's not as difficult. As you know, this answering to a message is far easier than sitting behind editing a video.
So a good example is today, right? So before this podcast, I was in a work meeting, so not wearing a hat, wearing a suit. After this, I've got to go to a work meeting. So again, completely different. It's just that switching takes a lot of your mental, I don't know. It's just a lot. And then, so actually, just last night, I've been sitting on this for about a year, so I know I need an editor. I have tried editors locally. My one thing was I need someone here, and I'm thinking, for the last year I've been thinking, well, that's stupid. That's never going to happen. And if it does, awesome. But I'd rather
mine are abroad.
Not have that as a requirement. If I find someone locally, amazing. But I just put out an advert yesterday on all like X, LinkedIn. I'm getting emails.
I think I saw on Insta, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on LinkedIn. It's on.
Have the
and I put
emails
it
said that
on.
your content sucks and you need an editor? Is that what they said?
Well, I made it
Get loads of them
quite.
all the time.
I made it quite clear,
Get them
right?
all
I
the
made it.
time.
I was like, I don't want to waste people's time. So the first question is, can you edit in Final Cut Pro? Do you have a Mac? Because if you can't, then I know there are better editing tools. I know you can probably edit the same video even better than I can right now. But I think to start with, I need it to be a seamless transition where I know when I talk to you, I know
You're talking the same language.
I can see what you need to do, and I can drive you. Eventually, I won't care, right? If I get to a point where an editor is that good that he's on DaVinci Resolve or whatever, don't care. I just want the
once
final
you build a
result, which
relationship
is
with them,
yeah. Because the
That's
plugins
what
I
I've done,
use
Alex. Yeah.
everything is transferable. Yeah.
That's exactly what I did. The other thing what I worked out for me was that when I was doing this before, when I was doing all the editing, everything myself, I don't know about you guys in Australia, but in the UK, we have our taxes and everything, how that all works. And there's these high tax ratings. So, the second you get, I think is it 40%, then it's 45% once you hit a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
And even with your sponsors coming in, it all counts. And the way how I worked it out was, how can I get rid of some of that pie? And the way I started thinking was, well, if I got an editor, and let's say he's editing my video for, that amount a month, per video, technically, take off 45% of that, because you're not going to be paying that in tax. Because of the business, it's an expense. And then I went, so actually, this is actually working out cheaper than even what they're charging me, because technically it's an expense now, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's the way how I worked it. Yeah. That's the way how I did it.
Quite... No, it's such a no-brainer for me. I mean, I know a lot of people will be quite particular to the editing style. And I actually enjoy editing. It's probably the best part of the process for me. I really love it. But I'm not precious, I think, without being rude.
What I had to do. I had to let go.
Anyone can edit my videos. It's not something it's not special, right? It's just it would be silly for me to think, I've got my own way. No, it's not. It's just I'm just cutting, getting rid of the mistakes, and putting some nice B-roll on top. It's not special.
That's what my one is. Basically, what I do is, I'll give you again my thing. What I do is I record with my Sony quite a lot of the time, and then if it was a news video, I literally record my Sony. I then put that onto my Mac. I cut out all the bad bits, shrink it all down, as it were, hand that over to the editor. I also give them the articles that I'm talking about. And the other thing as well, make sure you get editors, if they're from another country, they understand good English. And then basically get them, I tell them, these are the articles. Sometimes I even tell them where it is in the video. I go, at 3:24.
I'm getting a few applications. I want to make sure that they've done it before as well, right? It's like you can tell immediately show me a couple of your show me your videos, and I can tell immediately whether they're going to be good.
The other trick to do with it,
I'll give you a good hint for cutting down videos. Instead of doing it yourself, use Gling.
I heard of it. Yeah, it will just
You put your A-roll in, and it snips out all the bad takes and all the dead space.
I might try that.
And zoom, puts it down into an XML file, even with all the cuts that you can load into Sensation.
I use that on all my videos. Yeah,
I might try that.
Since day one. Yeah, it's good. It's not perfect, but it saves me hours every week.
And just to round out, because I just want to see Alex explode. Matty Hypoya talking about the iPhone, the Samsung S25, and the Pixel 10. I watched it. Who else has watched it?
I didn't even know it existed. I don't even know who he is.
No.
Oh, well, I watch him a lot. I like him. He's a friend of Pete McKinnon's, and he's a Canadian, and he's an iPhone user generally. I wouldn't say it's the most unbiased, but equally, he's not. Sometimes on some bits, the Pixel does win out. Sorry, the Samsung does win out. The Pixel they all universally hated.
The Pixel didn't win a single one in that. For me, anyway. I watched the entire video. Yeah, but
the Pixel looked crap the whole way through. Yeah,
the video is. I mean, it's a nice. And I've seen. I think Max Tech does a really good version of this video where he does a blind test, right?
Yeah, that's a good way of doing it.
But when you do a blind test with people who are creators, it takes two pictures to actually know, all right, that's the signature look of something. And
Correct.
And there's kind of the same theme. It's like, it's so obvious that they're always going to pick. They're not choosing blindly. They're going, where's the iPhone? Oh, that's the iPhone. That's the better one. For me,
it's got a bit of vibrancy.
It's like, and again, the Pixel sticks out like a sore thumb. I think it would be a better test. Like the way Max Tech does his blind test is better because he brings in his family. So it's people who are not necessarily in tech. So they just look at what is the best picture out of these ones. And invariably, they will pick something that is not an iPhone. And I think that's more, I think those are more realistic. Because, when you show to professional, these guys have been, all of them in that video are creators. And there's a little bit of, I think they halfway through the test, and this is just my feedback on my experience. Maybe I hate watched it because I within a minute I was like, oh God, this is, and I love Matthew, which is what made it worse for me because I was like, oh man, I really wish this was proper. But yeah, one of the halfway through, they switched the method. So they're like, okay, we're going to start doing this thing, and they were at the same time, kind of Matthew would go first, and then the others would kind of follow him. I prefer that one. And then everyone would go, yeah, I prefer that one too. And then they decided to go, right, let's say which one is the best at the same time, which is a bit better. But like I said, after you've seen a few photos, you know which one is which because they all look
straight away.
Yeah, it's so easy to, if you were putting like the 17 Pro Max versus the 16 Pro Max versus an Air, I think that would have been a better video because it would be hard to tell the difference between those.
Did that.
Really? Yeah. See, I'm more interested in that because what he's done here, I know.
Sorry, pause it there.
Yeah, the Pixel is the brighter one. The right.
I can already tell you know which Pixel.
And you're looking at a low-res image.
The iPhone also brightens the videos up a lot too. I could already tell what was
you
what.
mentioned the last pod, didn't you? Because of the people and grass. You were the two big things.
It's
Samsung's
warmer,
been that, and
Samsung's a bit more contrasty and a bit color punchy.
And you said the iPhone was really good at people, didn't you? Skin.
It lights it up.
Skin, but it also is very bright and warm. Like it's very warm for some reason. Like I've noticed there's a lot of
lights it up. Yeah.
Lights it up.
And you said you can
warm.
spot it. You said you can spot it, right?
Well, just if you go, I thought the iPhone was A, just because that's just it's been lifting the shadows quite a bit, but it could also be C. Samsung's definitely B. Well, I have no doubt.
A is Pixel.
A is Pixel.
I think C is iPhone.
I'll put a link to this video in the description.
Oh, there we go.
Whoa,
interesting.
Yeah.
I
can tell straight away. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I have watched the video, but yeah, A is Pixel in this video is the brightest picture. So you've seen a couple of go right. So they all eliminate Pixel straight away, even though someone else looking at it who's not a creator would have gone, actually, I prefer the look of the Pixel. But that didn't happen once in this video.
Go on then. Are we doing a blind test there before I play it on?
I can't be bothered.
Pixel's A again. I mean, it's a complete, again, because they filmed it at different times as well. It's like, so if I want to watch a camera test, I want to do, like, I watch Darius videos, I watch Ben videos because they are doing in a rig with filming at the same time. So it's daylight. Daylight changes every freaking millisecond.
But you know what the thing that I really don't like about camera comparisons
there's so many holes
days?
In that video.
Camera comparisons just do output. They only care about output. There is no consideration for how you can capture stuff. There is no consideration for modes, settings, toggles. It is just, this is what the photo and the video looks like.
Yeah.
And that's it. And for me, I think there's a lot more to a camera than just what the end product is, because if someone's got a phone on its own, they're not comparing it to something else. They want to know what the phone's camera can do alongside the output. And I feel like there's the bigger creators, especially, they're just not focused on that area.
Being devil's advocate, right? I mean, the video started pissing me off because it says that, the Google and Samsung and Apple are the main phones. It's like, well, I don't know. There are other phones out there, but
that's kind of playing devil's advocate. Wasn't it? Yeah, you tried. Xiaomi, you gave us a phone, but no.
Yeah, but playing devil's advocate is like, you are, as a creator, you kind of have to play to the audience, right? And his audience is mostly probably in America. It's probably mostly using iPhones. Probably mostly interested in video. So I think you're kind of playing to the audience in that sense to say, right, you're telling them what they want to hear, which is the iPhone is a better phone for video. Which, in my experience, as you will see in tomorrow's video, it fucking isn't.
I was fine, but you just said that
on that bombshell, of which I actually visited Jeremy Clarkson's farm shop and his pub this week as well when I was out on this bombshell. That was the segue there. I went to Diddley Squat and to the farmer's dog, yes.
On
I
that
took
bombshell.
the iPhone there. On that bombshell, exactly. We are going to finish. Matt, thank you so much for joining us. It's been great.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much for having me.
It was an extended one as well, so I appreciate
a long
the time,
one.
mate.
I'm going to be editing a long video.
That was my fault.
Yeah, gling it down. Hour and a half down to 30 minutes. Done. Job done. We will be back, of course, in 2 weeks' time with more tech news and what it's like running a YouTube channel in the real world. Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening, and we'll see you in a fortnight's time.
See ya.
Cheers.
Thank you. Bye-bye.